Alright, it's time to get into these doors. We're just going to pull the old rubbers off. I think they're probably going to need to be replaced because you can see stuff like this has happened. Panel's got to come off. All these bits taken off. I'm going to leave the window in there just because I don't think I have to take it out. When spraying, I'll just mask it up a little bit. Take the hinges off as well so I can get some nice paint in there. A little bit of rust through the edges. To be honest, not too bad. I'm not going to need to do any welding on this. This will probably just need some fiberglass filler in there once all the rust has been dug out. So, let's start pulling this stuff apart. How cool is it that there's actually, I mean, I don't know. Do new cars have ashtrays like this? It's been a long time since I've seen a nice new modern car with an ashtray, kind of supporting the idea of smoking. So I'm going to keep that in there just because it's pretty cool. And why would you take it out? The trims on here are really, really, really good. So these are going to get dyed black when I get around to it. But I love the patterning on it. That's staying the way it is, and it'll keep it looking really, really neat. Holy crap! There's actually cigarettes in here. I wonder if these are from the 70s as well. Well, this car was used. Alrighty, let's get at pulling this door apart and kind of tidying it up, ready for paint. Get yourself a box and label it. Smart thinking. So now we got to get these little clips out. I don't think these are going to be savable. Pulling them out is probably going to break them off, which is not the end of the world. I'm just hoping that when I order the new rubbers that I can get these clips again. All the clips are now off, all around the edges. The door hinges have been removed. So all that's really required now is to pop off that little surround there for the lock. All I've got to do is scuff up the whole surface really, and realistically I've got to hit it with a layer of primer after I repair the rust, of course. Hit it with a layer of primer and then just do the same process I did to the door jambs, which is hit it with the gunmetal grey, put a clear coat on it. And I'm only doing anything facing the inside. I'm not doing the under panel of the car, I'm not doing this side of the door frame either. Alright, so now that we've got the panel kind of prepped for the inside, sanded down any little tiny areas that just had chips so that they kind of feathered flat. A little bit of primer over that will be good. All of this is done. The repair work's been done on the rust with some fiberglass filler. This has all been sanded down, same with all through here, is nice and clean, and around the upper edge. Now that we're all mussed up, I'm just going to hit it on the, where is it? Where was it? Oh yeah. This area here, where the joints go. I'm just going to hit it with some rust converter, primer, and then we're good to go for some paint. Now that primer is on, next step is going to be the colour. Whew, I can breathe again. Kind of. Still a few fumes in the air, but I'll talk just for now. That is on. That's all it's going to take. Door jambs definitely don't need, 2, 3, 4 coats of paint. Once it's covered, it's covered. I'm going to let that tack off really well and then hit it with some clear. And as far as clear is concerned, I'll do 2 or 3 coats over this top edge here because that's where everyone's arms are going to sit. Apart from that, 1 coat of clear for the rest of this panel. Maybe a light dusting of clear and then the final coat. But like I said, definitely doesn't need a lot. This is coming up really good. I want to make sure that this top rail here comes out good. So far, so good. Just put the final coat of clear on. That's looking killer. So now we can unmask it. Awesome. I just decided to put this back on top. It's not pushed in. I'm just resting there just to give contrast against what it used to look like. I think it looks absolutely awesome. I can't wait for this to be dyed black. That's going to look really, really good as well. We're back again, making some slow progress, but good progress. As these doors are getting sorted out one by one, I'm actually in the process of just popping the door cards off, getting these cleaned up, spraying them in the color. This one just got done, and it's now time to play with these door cards and get them sorted out and the right color. I don't mind the tan or brown look, whatever it is. I think it looks cool, but I am going to want it to be black. So I bought some vinyl dye, and we're going to give it a go, and hopefully this stuff works out all right. I am always skeptical using, like a vinyl dye, because I don't know how it performs well on like a seat of a car, just because you sit on it all the time and it crinkles and it moves and it misforms. I think it's going to work a bit better on the door cards. These are in really good condition, but I want them to be black. So we're going to clean them up really well, scrub them down, prep them, and spray them with some vinyl dye. So it's going to be a pretty simple procedure. We're going to scrub this up really well with wax and grease remover in a spray bottle. We're going to use just a fine Scotch-Brite pad, and I'm just going to get into this and give it a really, really good clean. The wax and grease remover being used with the pad is going to get all the grease and grime that could be hidden in any of these little wrinkles and get it out, so that the vinyl and fabric specialty coating bites in really well and doesn't chip off on me in the next few years to come. So we're trying the Dupli color vinyl and fabric. Fingers crossed this is going to work well. So let's get started by chopping up a bit of this, spraying the wax and grease remover of it, and giving it a really good scrub down. Alright, so that's been wax and grease removed. I'm wearing gloves so I don't get any extra oil onto this. The last thing I need is any of these lifting. Being a soft, pliable material like vinyl, we don't want the paint to not bond well and chip off when it gets wrinkled. I've seen some reviews on this already on YouTube and it looks decent. So I'm following their instructions and whatnot, and hopefully this comes out really good. So I think we are ready to give it its first coat. The first coat's going to be a very light dusting. That's kind of how it was advertised to be used, and then the second and third will be like a medium. Alright, that's going to do it for the first coat. I'm going to let this tack off really well. You can see I haven't gone all the way black at the moment. It's showing a little bit of brown through there, which is absolutely fine. I'm going to let this tack dry and then do a second coat. And that's all she wrote. That's it. No more coats of paint. That's all I'm going to put on it. Super glossy, which is fine. It does have a light on it, and it is fresh. You can get a matte one if you didn't want it to be as kind of glossy, but I think this will dull down a little bit. I'm just going to let that dry off nicely, and then we'll put it on the door and see what it looks like. And here it is, back on the door. Personally, that looks absolutely awesome. Put the paint on. The door panel is now clean and tidy and black, and it'll suit the interior. That's come out really good. So I'm still yet to find out, you know, what kind of longevity we're going to get on this vinyl paint, but so far so good. It's now completely dry to the touch. It may take a little bit more time for the product to actually kind of bond to the vinyl. I'm not 100% sure, so I'd probably just recommend taking it easy on this and try to touch it as little as possible. But that's looking so much better. I've just placed these back in. I haven't screwed this down. I haven't screwed that in, but just to give it, you know, just to see what it looks like. And I think that's going to look 100% acceptable for this car. I think it's going to look absolutely awesome. I still have to just kind of tidy this bar up here, and I also have to get a couple of new rubbers for the inside of the window rail, and obviously new rubber kit going all the way around the seal of the car, which you can buy from eBay quite easily. So that's a really quick little video of doing the doors and the door cards in a black vinyl. I'm really happy with this. I'm looking forward to putting these back on the car so then I can start working on this. But the whole car has to be back together with all the panels on it before I start doing any body work, so that everything remains nice and straight as I'm working it. So that's going to do it for this one. This is probably going to be the last time you see the doors in a video, just because I've pretty much done everything I can to them apart from putting new rubbers on them. So thanks for watching. I'm excited. I can't wait to get it finished. I think it's going to look absolutely phenomenal.